everybody, and welcome back, or welcome for the first time if this is your first time. Today I'm going to be trying out this new sketchbook. I've already tried it out a little bit, but I'm going to be trying it out on camera now. It's a Stillman and Birn Zeta series. It's the heavier weight one, so I'll write it down in the description there. So if you're interested after this video and checking it out, go ahead. I've tried it out a little bit already here, so just I did some ink swatches, I guess, just checking out how the ink did in the book. And it looks like there's not too much feathering, so I like that. The Noodler's Black, Heart of Darkness, the Noodlers and the Diamine Oxblood all did pretty darn well. Platinum Carbon didn't do as well as I'd hoped it would have. And then the brush pens looked good. I'm going to be trying some watercolor in this sketchbook eventually, so we will check that out at some point. But yeah, I'm just going to I want to do both pages in this sketchbook. That's kind of why I got the thicker paper here, so I could draw on the back sides of pages too. And that's kind of why I hammered on this page so much, just to see if it bled through. And I got a little tiny bit of bleed through right up here somewhere on something. I'm not really sure what that is, but you can't see the drawing through the back side of the page, and that's good. So yeah, I'm gonna start out with maybe this TWSBI. I have this brush pen too. I forget what it's called. I'll put it in the description. I think I might use that actually. So I'm feeling the brush pen lately. So let's just start out here. I'm gonna start on this page just because we want to do both pages here. So I'm gonna start. I just feel like drawing another one of these eyeballs, so I'm just gonna start out with the brush pen. We're gonna start right there. Just draw kind of a eyeball shape. Almond? Not an almond though. I think that's not the best description for it. And I'm just going to paint in the shadows here with this brush pen. Some nice solid black there. And I am digging this paper. It's pretty good. It's still not quite as good as my favorite Canson Smooth Bristol. I wish they would just make a sketchbook, one of these A5s with the Canson in it. That would be cool. Maybe I'll learn how to make sketchbooks. We can figure that out. Put some Canson in it. Could be cool. So I like these brush pens for kind of sketching. Let's see. Put a dot in the center for the pupil. It's not going to be the full size of the pupil. I was just trying to get like a center point there though. And I can work the iris around it. Like so. And you gotta kind of not worry about being super accurate with brush pens, I feel like. Just kind of go with the flow, so to speak. I'll do something like that. I think I was originally planning on having more of a defined pupil, but that's okay. And And I'm just kind of doodling here. I'm going to doodle for a half hour or so today, and then, you know, call it quits. So I'm not trying to fill up this whole page or both these pages here or anything. I'm just kind of messing around, getting to know the paper a little better. And this new pen. This is, I think it's Kuretake or something like that. I want to say Furakake, but I think that's the rice seasoning. So I don't know. I'll have it listed in the description down there. So should be fun. And if you don't have a brush pen, you can use a brush dipped in ink, or just a regular pencil or a pen or whatever you got, really. Sharp stick dipped in ink. Go for it. All right, we're gonna sketch in an eyebrow over it. This is gonna be pretty surreal, so just kind of playing around. I have this kind of mixed feelings sort of relationship with the brush pen here. But I think I'm starting to like it more. You just got to embrace because it's any little wobble in your hand is going to show up. So you got to embrace the wabi-sabi or whatever. And we're going to darken that in actually, because it's going to be more of a shadow there. And then we'll probably have this be part of a bigger thing. Let's see, let's come up this way. Bigger shape, like an obelisk or something. Not an obelisk. That's like a Washington Monument or whatever. I don't want it to be a pyramid either, because then it's going to be an Illuminati. That's not really what I'm trying to draw. I was messing around with the idea on the last page of just this sort of floating diamond shape, I guess. That's what it started out as, and then I just started playing around with all the different inks and stuff, so it turned into whatever that was, my test page. Just fine. Sometimes you just gotta, I feel like with a new sketchbook, if that first page is overwhelming you, just go nuts on it, and who cares, right? Get it out of the way. Use it to do some swatches and to experiment with some different stuff, and then it relieves the stress of, because you get over, like, if you work yourself up about it, you could be like, oh no, I want every page in the sketchbook to be super cool. And it just doesn't matter if you even start out with a super cool sketchbook. There's chances are you're going to have a page eventually that's going to get wonky at some point. Just in my experience anyways, so just don't worry about it. That's what sketchbooks are for, right? Experimenting. I feel like so many people show their pictures of their sketchbooks, and it's just all this like super polished stuff, and it's like, I don't know, not really what a sketchbook's for, is it? It's a sketchbook. It's for sketches. So, but maybe that's their sketches. I don't know. Maybe they're just that good. I don't even know what I'm doing here. I'm just kind of messing around. making some shapes. And you can do some stuff with these brush pens that you can't do with the fountain pens too. Like you can get that sort of dry brush look, you know, which is interesting. Or we can make like a pattern out of it or something. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Just messing around, like I said. What is this attached to? What is this over here? I don't even know. Let's draw some. Should we go over onto this page? I don't know. I don't think I want to today. I want to kind of just have this all like blend together in this one or something. Of course I say that now, but oh, I'm going off the page, of course. Jeez. Sorry. Hopefully I didn't draw off screen for too long. I'm gonna bust out the fountain pen here in a minute, but I'm just messing around here, playing around. So this is the first video of 2024. It's the new year now. I'm glad the holiday season is over. I don't much care for it. A lot of stress. Everybody's stressed out. For what? You know? Not into it. So, thank goodness. Thank goodness it's over. So we can all breathe a sigh of relief, right? Everything can just go back to normal. Hopefully 2024 is a good year. I feel like we're about due for a good one. 23 wasn't too bad. Hopefully it was okay for you guys. What is this? Hatching? What am I doing here? Hatch, hatch, hatch. This video is almost like a doodle itself. It's like the doodle version of the video. I'm just kind of winging it today, so. I've been feeling a little bit stressed out about making good videos, and I think I need to kind of remind myself of why I started making these videos in the first place and just go with that. So we don't want to get stressed out about it. That's not going to be fun anymore. And the point of it was to have fun in the beginning. So yeah, that's why you get this. It's got no point. So there's no point to this video. We're not learning anything. Maybe we're learning something, I don't know. All right. That's pretty good. Let's move over to the fountain pen. And we will start to add some, this is Noodler's Gray in my extra fine TWSBI here. And we're going to start to add in some hatching here. Really start to grab some shapes and shadows and pull them out of all this scribble. So one thing I don't like about this is that this front page is kind of floating here. Maybe we'll take another sketchbook and just set it under here for now. We can do that. So it creates a lot of bounce in the paper there. But other than that, I flipped through the whole thing. The paper lays nice and flat, which is something I like over the moleskin. It's got better paper than the moleskin for sure. So if that's the, the one thing you care about most, then go for it. 100% recommend better paper. But yeah, I wonder if Stillman and Birn makes hardbound sketchbooks. They might. I haven't looked. I'll probably look after this. There we go. I'm just kind of hatching in random directions and stuff. The tutorials I've made, I'll link them in the description. You can watch them if you're interested. But those tutorials I made are for stylizing your hatching. It's not really how I do it all the time. And they're more exercises too, to just get used to how your hand needs to move and all that sort of stuff. So check them out if you want. They're cool. But it is one of those things too, you should, it's good practice to do that as like an exercise, right? And maybe I should have mentioned that in the video. I'm still figuring out how to make videos and stuff, so just what works. And I'm kind of scatterbrained too, so like knowing what details to include doesn't always work out for me. So yeah, those are good exercises to do, and it'll help you train your brain and your hand to do stuff a certain way, but it's not necessarily like how I always do it, I guess. That's kind of the point I was trying to make here. Sometimes I'll just go in random directions. It doesn't always have to go in the direction of the light source. It's more, I'm going to make a video about this, what I'm about to talk about here too, soon. But it's more about representing the light and the shadow, right? So a lot of times I'll try and imagine 3 different tones, like light, medium, and dark, is how I try to simplify it in my mind. Or sometimes I'll even just do light and dark if I'm just really trying to simplify it. And I'll just put hatching where the light, or not the light, the light is the part I leave blank. I'll just put hatching where the medium or the dark, or just the dark is. So it will, it'll make sense in the video I make. I'll show you how I kind of imagine it and look at it. And if you're struggling with hatching, it should help. It's also one of those things I've been practicing this type of stuff a lot for a long time too, Like I was thinking about what pens I was going to use to demonstrate some of the stuff, and there's part of the video where I want to have a medium tone so I can demonstrate, but it's going to be like, like something I can paint on or a marker or something. And I was looking, and I have some Copic markers that are probably 15 years old. And I was checking them out, seeing if they were still working. And yeah, they still work. 15 years old. It's pretty crazy. Okay, so I'm getting a little bit of feathering right here. I don't know if you guys can see that. Yeah, the Noodler's gray. A little bit of feathering on this paper, so that's interesting. Not a deal breaker or anything, but not what I like to see. I don't think it does that on the Canson. I'll have to double check. But yeah, see, I just added a little seam in here to kind of get that, I don't know, give it sort of a organic kind of look there. I'm really just playing around here. Mostly just getting to know the paper, you know? I don't know if you guys do the same thing, but when I get a new type of paper, I'll mess around with it just to kind of get a feel for it, to feel like it lets me know what I can do and what I can't do with it, right? So I feel like it's a good idea to do a couple doodles just for your first couple pages in a sketchbook, or even if it's like a ream of paper, you know, just grab a couple sheets and figure it out. Unlock its mysteries, right? See, I don't like the way that overlapped there. Whatever. Ignore it. Move on. I think I'm just going to title this video Checking Out the Sketchbook, because that's all. I'm just checking it out. I feel like it's very freeform here, so I don't want to call it a review or anything. Sometimes I'll use specific wording in video titles. I'll be like unboxing and you know, first impressions. I'll write that in the title about something. And then I get some people who comment like, oh, that was a crappy review. And I'm like, well, it wasn't, you know, they don't say that exactly, but they're like, you know, something to that effect. And it's like, well, that's not what it says in the title. It doesn't say it was a review in the title. So I don't know what to tell you. So if you're thinking that right now, that this is a crappy review, it's not a review. This is just me goofing around. Drawing an eyeball. Why not, right? We're having fun. We're having a good time. Hopefully you're drawing an eyeball too. You didn't know you were supposed to be drawing an eyeball this whole time? I didn't say that, did I? I didn't tell you that you were supposed to be drawing an eyeball. Let me take the cap off this pen. I like to hold the pens. I've noticed if I'm choking up on it too much, it's because I'm not feeling confident. If I'm feeling confident, I'll hold it way back here. That's why I like longer pens, I think. Or ones that post. The cap just keeps popping off of this one lately, so I don't know. Maybe I just need to give it a little wipe with some cleaner or something. I think I only have rubbing alcohol, and I think rubbing alcohol is really bad for these pens, so yeah, might just have to continue to be greasy until I get a good cleaner. A greasy guy. Okay, so what should we do with all this up here? I started to draw a shape and then just completely got sidetracked over here. I'll give it some kind of weird shape. Like I said, I'm just doodling, so... Give this kind of a cutout. Kind of shadow there. Give this a gibbet or a greebly, maybe. Let's connect a little tube there. Why not? Let's see here. I'm just going to have this hatching kind of fading out on the edges here. Like this. What is it? Who knows? Surrealism? Abstract? That's something interesting. I don't know if I've ever talked about that, but it's like, where do you draw the line between abstract and surreal? Right? Seriously, like because I think maybe it just has to be representational to be surreal in some way. Or is this representational of something? I don't know. Is this just abstract? I mean, there's an eyeball, right? And there's this stuff, which looks like it could physically be a thing, but who knows what it is? I don't know. I feel like that line between abstract and surreal starts to get kind of blurry. This is interesting to think about, I guess. I'm sure there's official rules written down somewhere. Official art rules. It's kind of one of the fun things about art is that, you know, there's a lot of people that try to make up rules for it, but you can kind of just ignore them and do whatever you want if you really want to. The rules are optional. You could do outsider art, right? Is that what this is? Am I doing outsider art? I'm not super formally trained on anything, so. I love this texture of the dry brush, but I don't really know what to do with it. So. I feel like mixing it with other stuff, like maybe the whole thing needs to be done with the brush pen and have that dry brush texture. I'm going to try doing some stuff over here for a little bit, though. Just kind of adding on the ends of all this hatching over here. Brush hatching. This pen had Noodler's black in it before, and I didn't really clean it out. I just kind of emptied it back into the Noodler's bottle, and then used a napkin to get as much as I could out of the nib and feed that way. And then I just put the Lexington gray in there. So this is probably a little darker. I used it on the previous page quite a bit, but this is probably a little bit darker than it would be if we would have just started with a fresh pen. So there's that. Keep that in mind if you were looking at this and thinking, that Noodler's gray sure is dark. That's because that's what I was thinking. Let's see here. Just kind of playing around with some textures here. Let's see. So I come up with ideas for other drawings. Just kind of fool around with different lines and textures and stuff like that. We'll try drawing some lines over the dry brush. See what that looks like. It's okay. Could be useful for something. I don't know. Elephant trunk, maybe? All right. Add some little details in there. We can do a little drop shadow underneath this eyelid like that. Just a little hint of one. Did we make anything? I don't know. Let's see here. I'm just going to add some little edges over here to kind of whatever. I don't know. And then ink right over here. Feeling the need to draw some lines coming over this way. Something like that. Interesting. Maybe we will just draw a little bit of hatching to kind of tie this in. Something like that. Real light, real quick. We're running out of time here. It looks like... Oh, we are out of time. All right, guys. Well, we will call that done for today. I'll pick up on this and draw some more off of it, I think. I don't know if I'll do that on camera or not, but we will see. If you feel like I've wasted your time, don't worry. I've wasted my own time as well. No, I'm just kidding. Thanks for watching. Go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe. And if you have any comments or questions, go ahead and leave them down below. And one last thing before we go, let me thank my patrons on Patreon. I have them all written down in this other sketchbook here. There we go, patrons. Thank you guys for supporting the channel. If you're interested in that, there's links. And I realized when I got the new sketchbook that I'm going to need to transfer these over into each new sketchbook if I keep doing it this way. So what I think I'm going to do is get like a Rhodia pad with some lines, and I'll just use that for writing patron names down. But maybe we'll do some doodles on the Rhodia pad or something to make it fun. Anyways, thanks for watching, and I will see you all in the next video. All right, bye.